Hi, this is Chris from dashcamcentral.com.au, and today we're going to show you how to load new firmware onto your VIOFO A119S dashcam. So a couple of things that you need to do is first you need to go and locate the firmware and download it, and then you need to get that firmware put onto a formatted micro SD card ready to be accepted by your camera. It's pretty important that when you do download and upgrade your firmware on your camera, that the only file you've got on that micro SD card is that firmware file. No other folders, no other files. So what we're going to do here, I've already got my micro SD card in my PC, so we're just going to locate it. It's down here, it's listed as a D drive, so we'll just have a look at that. Folder is empty, but if it weren't, we would just right click, we would format, start the process, tells you it's going to erase all the data, format is complete, and we will just close out of there. So then the next thing we need to do is go and get our new firmware file. So in this case, that file is going to be located over on the VIOFO global website. So we'll just go up to the VIOFO.com now. You can see we're on the home page. We're going to go over to the support page, and then from here you can see that we've got a knowledge base, and up here on the left hand side we've got firmware, two to choose from, A119 or the A119S. The one we're looking for today is the A119S firmware. We're just going to click on that. That'll take us to the firmware page. So you can see we're on the A119S firmware page. You can see it was modified 22nd of Feb, so it is the latest file. It's version 1.2. So you can see 22nd of 2nd, 2017. And you can see the firmware file is located here. So we're just going to click on that now. And you can see that it is downloading to my PC. So once that downloads, we're just going to move that file onto my SD card, which in this case is in the PC. It may still be in your camera, and your camera might be connected to the PC, so you can do it that way. But once it's gone through, you can see here we're going to open it up. We're just going to show it in the folder, and you can see here that it is downloaded to my downloads folder, and in this case it is a zip file. So all we're going to do is right click, because we want to unzip this file, and in this case we're going to choose extract all. The computer's going to ask you where you want to send it to, so we're just going to browse, and we're going to download it straight to that micro SD card, which the PC is seeing as drive D. So we will select that folder, and in this case we're going to extract, and we'll see that it is going to download the extracted file directly onto our micro SD card, and it is called firmware 119s.bin. So that's it. We've got the firmware located on the micro SD card, and from here, because it's not in the camera as yet, we're going to move the SD card into the camera, and we're going to show you how to upgrade the firmware on camera. So we've now got the firmware loaded onto our micro SD card. So all we need to do now is get it updated into your A119S. Now, a couple of things to remember. To do this, you do obviously just need to have that file, and only that file on the micro SD, and you do need to have clean permanent power supply to your camera. So in this instance, I've got the camera charged into a phone charger, not my computer. Your computer won't give you enough power to do this. Your computer won't give you enough power to power up your camera, so don't plug it into the USB port on your computer. That's mainly for just transferring data files to and from your camera. In fact, the best way to do this is probably in your vehicle, but we've got to do this in-house today. So all we need to do is put the SD card in the camera with your camera switched off. We'll just pop that in there with a fingernail, and then we are going to switch on the power supply to the camera. So you're going to notice a couple of things. So firstly, with this particular firmware, your power for your camera is not going to come on in the usual time. So what your camera is doing, it's loading your firmware in the background. This could take about 30 seconds to 2 minutes or so. So we're just going to wait for it to do its thing and upgrade the firmware. The other thing with older versions of firmware, or maybe even upcoming ones, instead of just having a blank screen and nothing coming on, you may actually get a very quick red flashing light, which will come on through your record and your emergency record button. But with this particular firmware, it just goes through and does it, so don't think that nothing's happening, because that's certainly not the case. So we'll just give it time to do its thing. And here it goes. You can see that's powering back up, and we've gone back to our normal screen, and the camera has gone into normal record mode. So we're just going to make sure that we do in fact have version 1.2. So to get into your menu functions, hit record, stop recording, otherwise you can't access your menu. It's beeping away to say it's not recording. Let's go into the menu. Let's go have a look at that firmware version, into that. And as you can see, we've got the A119S version 1.2, 22nd of the 2nd, 17. So we've successfully upgraded the firmware version on our camera. So we'll just get back out of the menu and hit record, and away you go. So this is Chris from dashcamcentral.com.au, and that's how you update your firmware on your VIOFO A119S.